Hello everyone and welcome to the episode 0 of the Geek Pride podcast.
Hey!
History in the making.
I am history in the making, yes. I am Sean Wallace. I am the contributor who's currently doing the Game of Thrones review. And we're now going to go through and introduce ourselves. So, Becca.
Hi, I'm Becca Harper and I just do lots of different things.
I'm Matt Geary and I am the man. No.
I'm a man.
The boss man.
I'm James Buckingham. I tend to do most of the news and some reviews for films and games and stuff.
And my name's Richie Yanukovych, and I'm a total noob.
Noob!
Noob. So, I think we'll start with what we were talking about before. There is a big film being released this week, a massive film, and that is the My Little Pony internet film that's coming out.
It's gonna be huge!
Yeah.
Enormous.
I am so excited about this film.
I think the full title is My Little Pony Equestria Girl. So.
Wow, GPers, you
Do you
heard it here
realise
first.
that Laura is not gonna like that we talk about My Little Pony without her?
Probably not, no, but then it'll give her incentive to be in the next podcast.
That's her own fault for not being here. We did invite everyone.
That
We
is
did. We're very friendly like that.
We are.
We need to get some of our Americans on board at some point, I think.
Yeah, add a touch of class to the podcast.
class.
Do we as a group feel that the world needs a My Little Pony movie?
No.
No.
Well,
No.
having a
I'm gonna-
10-year-old daughter, yes. It means about
Yes.
an hour and a half without her. You
Oh,
can't
geez.
pass on that.
Yeah, and I think there are a lot of bronies who will be interested in that as well. So I think it's good to keep them well fed. Water, they need a good amount of hay, and My Little Pony films. So
Yeah. And glitter.
I am, being token noob, I am incredibly new to the world of bronies. As in, within the past week have I learned what a brony is. And I am shocked.
Should
Shocked
I
and
ask?
amazed.
I think I might be completely new to bronies as well.
I only googled it because of Laura.
Yeah,
What the hell's a brony?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We might be making an assumption there that everyone knows what a brony is.
Nobody knows what a brony is.
A
Okay,
brony.
for the uninitiated?
Yeah, for the uninitiated, for Richie, a brony is someone who very adamantly follows the latest iteration of My Little Pony, which I think is called Friendship is Magic.
Wait, so
You
that
know
means
a
my
lot
daughter a
about
brony?
Yes. As long as she
Wow.
adamantly follows. I think
Well,
it's
I
the-
buy it for
So
her.
basically, it's kind of along the lines of the Warhammer geeks who argue about Warhammer canon, but in My Little Pony world. So
Yeah,
basically,
or twihards with a little bit more dignity.
Yeah, that'll work.
Maybe I'm being harsh on bronies there. A lot more dignity in some cases. Not that there's anything wrong with Twilight, but there is a
What?
lot wrong with their fandom.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot wrong with their films.
Oh God!
Yes.
Have you played the Twilight Significant Stare drinking game?
yeah,
No.
no.
It's what it says on the tin. You watch one of the Twilight films, and you have a very deep drink every time there's a significant stare.
You'd be pissed in the
Right.
first 5 minutes.
Well,
I have honestly tried to watch them. I've watched 1.5. I watched that half twice. I couldn't get any further than that.
I got through the first one, and I'll never get that time back ever again.
I have seen every single Twilight film.
Get out!
Yeah.
Leave!
I'm
Get
ashamed
off
of
this
this.
podcast.
I'm sorry, but I had to. I had no choice. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
I'll
heard.
go.
There's
that-
always
I'll
choice.
go.
Yeah,
There is always choice. Unless somebody was holding you at gunpoint and threatening to take your nads, you have no excuse.
yeah, those Vietnamese prison of war camps are really tough now.
His
You
nads
watch-
left when he
you
started
watch.
watching them.
I think the Christians, is it Kristen Stewart? Kirsten Stewart? I don't actually even know her name.
Kristen.
Kristen, her whole method of acting seems to be pretend I'm doing a poo and look into the middle distance. This is not an acting method.
Smell the fart acting.
I know, it's horrible. It's horrific.
That was pretty much your entire role in that Snow White and the Huntsman thing as well.
Yep, absolutely.
bother.
Yeah, every film.
Pretty much.
I have actually. There was the space version of Jumanji. What was it?
Zathura, yeah.
Zathura, yeah. She was in that, and she was passable. She seemed to be playing a human being.
That's because she was in it for a combined total of about 5 minutes, and she was frozen for like the rest of the movie. So, because she was a statue for most of the movie, she was, bearable.
Perfect.
Pretty much.
So it did take long to get onto Twilight then.
Yeah. How did we get from ponies to Twilight again?
Well, we're going through shit films, aren't we? Really?
Geek fandom.
Unless we have, do you have any dissensions around? Can we all agree that the Twilight series or saga is shit? Or do we have any? It is shit.
Those aren't vampires.
We've got nobody who wants to step forward and go, no, it's good because of.
No.
I won't say it's
No.
good, but I would say it's not
terrible.
something we can dismiss completely out of hand just because so many people geek out over it, and we are Geek Pride after all. So I think they do have a place here, if only so it's to keep.
Oh, stop sitting on the fence! Come on.
I'm not sitting on the fence.
Of justice.
Well, sorry, Matt. I'll completely stop talking because you all let the Wookiee win.
That's right. Let the Wookiee win.
Let the Wookiee win.
That's not a good thing. Whenever there's been an argument, the Wookiee's going to come out.
Yeah, we
As
could
a little
call the
side
podcast-
note, did we all hear the news about Peter Mayhew having his cane taken away from him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Denver
man, that was
Airport?
mad.
How ridiculous!
No.
Yeah, the
that
actor who played Chewie was returning from, I think, Denver Comic Con, and TSA agents stopped him, took his walking stick away from him, which gloriously is a lightsaber that he wanders around with. And they took it away from him and made him wait for a very, very long time, and he used the power of Twitter to get his walking stick back,
Bloody hell.
which I think is very cool.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah.
I mean, if anything, just for having a lightsaber as a walking stick,
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't understand what they thought when they were taking it off. Did they actually think it was going to be a real lightsaber?
It's a real one.
Well, I mean, you can find pictures on the internet, and these guys look like they want to keep it. They really
Yeah, that's what I thought.
we're having this.
That
Yeah,
could
it's
be
just
it.
It's because they stole Chewie's lightsaber.
Let's be
Sam, that's
honest.
security like that.
But-
Security took PVA glue off me once.
Yeah.
So,
If you've got that much power, you might as well abuse it and get a really cool lightsaber walking
They
stick.
took nappy cream off me. Nappy cream.
What
What was I going to do?
Probably blow up the plane with it.
Fling it in the pilot's face.
Kazaa!
Slap. God. Crazy.
Was this like hydrochloric acid-based nappy cream by any chance? Or-
But they let me through and then let me buy it in the boots.
There you go.
There you
I
are.
just wanted to make money. That's,
Right.
I just realised that.
Bad form, bad form.
It's a big scam, it really is. There is another big film coming up this week. Some of the listeners might have heard of it. It's called Man of Steel? Did I get that
Yes!
right?
Man of
Man
Steel,
of-
yeah.
Yeah,
Steel.
Man of Steel! Gosh.
Well, actually, there's a release before then that is catching my eye a bit. Have you heard of This Is the End at all yet?
Yes.
Say again.
Basically, it's called This Is the End. It's basically a post-apocalyptic movie, but it's got like Seth Rogen and Jay Baruchel.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they all play themselves, and it just looks absolutely hilarious.
I just hope it is.
I don't know, because
Yeah.
I'm a bit concerned because it seems to be a typical Hollywood reaction to another film. So there's The World's End coming out, and
Yeah.
so I can just imagine some execs going, well, shit, we've got to get something else out.
But the World's End isn't a post-apocalyptic movie. It's not. It's not the same. The
Yeah,
World's
but
End is just the name
it
of the fact.
sounds the same, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They
I'm
do come in
actually-
themes.
I've seen the film.
Oh, wow.
Which one? The World's End.
Yeah.
How did you manage that?
The Seth Rogen film. My partner works in advertising, and I get special advance preview tickets to go and see stuff.
Ooh.
He's a witch.
I'm a witch.
Witch.
Is it worth a
You
watch?
shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said it.
Well,
I'll say it now.
I'll write a review. I'm not going to tell you anything now. I won't say anything over the podcast because it's before the due date. So,
can we expect a
I'll say
review
nothing
on
more.
geek-pride.co.uk?
Oh, you mean geek-pride.co.uk?
Yes.
I thought we were talking about geek-pride.co.uk.
I thought it was geek-pride.co.uk.
See, I would have gone
Well,
for Geek-Pride.
Oh, that's one of their mirror sites, right? That's what
I feel like we should all have like hats and
Geek-Pride.
t-shirts and stuff on, and stickers all over our faces and stuff.
So you enjoyed the film then, did you, Richie?
I think for the sake of fairness to our vast audience and even the rest of the people on this panel, I'll say nothing now other than I enjoyed it.
Okay.
So that implies what? Did your partner not enjoy it?
Fishing. Come on.
Switzerland. I should say nothing more.
Yo.
I'll go
But I'm a big fan
anyway.
of Jay Baruchel. I'm quite a fan of Seth Rogen as well. It's Seth Rogen. I believe it's Seth Rogen's first time out as a director as well, which is pretty interesting. So I think they did a pretty good job.
Becca, just to interrupt, did you have an angry bird there?
Yeah, hang on. I'm having speaker issues. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. Made out of an egg by my daughter.
Wow. There you go.
That's
Nice.
She won. She won the competition.
Excellent.
I have one of those.
Hey.
That's a Greek Pride badge for people who aren't watching.
Greek Pride.
Yeah, I was going to say Greek
Greek
pride.
Pride.
Or geek. Dash pride.
Pride.
Indeed. But
That's our little-known sister website, Geek Pride.
Though you do know there is another Geek Pride in Manchester, and it's the sort of pride that Manchester's famous for.
yeah.
Excellent.
Do you know, at first I wondered whether this was that kind of geek pride, back in August. I thought, well, why not?
There is a few.
Do you mean it isn't?
Well, I'm not. I have no problem with people of that persuasion wanting to be a part of Geek Pride, but it isn't what some people think it is, and I think sort of there is a mistake sometimes on.
Maybe that's why you keep losing.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
is that one or two?
That gets me onto quite a good point, because if they have come on, just for example, they think it is something to do with gay pride, and they thought, well, we're geeks and we're pride and we're gay and we're going to come on this side. Oh, wait a minute, it's not for gay geek priders. Well,
That's not true.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's not
like-
gay enough.
well, yeah, maybe we don't use gay Linux or something. I don't know what it is.
We probably have a lot of Torture fans, so it
And
could
it's
come
just,
from that.
this is for everybody, girls, guys, it doesn't matter, heteros,
Cats.
bisexual, whatever,
Cats.
And it's just like, if you're leaving because we're not gay enough or we're not geeky enough, well, fine. It's fine. Go somewhere
At
else.
least let us know. Give us an opportunity to gay or geek it up.
Yeah, well, no,
although we need to cover more Linux, though, remember?
yeah, more
Linux.
More Linux.
That's one thing I would like a feedback thing whenever somebody leaves, because like I said, I feel it right here every time one person leaves. I feel like I want to know why did you leave? Is it because we're not geeky enough, or we're putting too much on our Facebook, or we're all shit, or I'm too good looking, you can't stick around? I don't know, something like that.
So you mentioned Linux there. Who can tell that story? Because I only saw a couple of little posts about it, but it seemed to be in a
Oh, are we
bit of a
stepping on?
meme.
Nah, it was just basically this chap just sort of kind of puts a post on the Facebook and says, you guys aren't geeky enough, I'm leaving. And I was like, okay, why is that, sir? And then he basically said, you don't put enough sort of coding stuff on, you don't put enough about Linux on. And I was like, okay, well, that doesn't mean we're not geeky, like behind me,
Well, in ancient times, geek was the word used for computer nerds. Do you know what I mean? So going back to
evolved.
late 70s.
Yeah, but now it's a
know,
massive
yeah, I know
umbrella.
now.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I wouldn't call it. I always thought like a nerd was being down as sort of kind of computer. It was sort of kind of a niche thing for computers.
Yeah.
Geeks was a sort of more all-encompassing sort of thing.
I think that the word
Pretty
nerd
sure.
stopped
No,
being
continue.
applied to people of our ilk when I think there's a film in the 80s called Attack of the Nerds.
Yeah,
of the
what a
Nerds.
quality series of films.
Yeah, and that kind of stopped any cool usage of the word nerd, I believe.
Right, I see.
Might be entirely wrong.
But I don't even know what I was going to say there. But yeah, you just sort of kind of.
About the Linux guy, that when we said that we weren't geeky enough, we didn't have enough coding stories, and then we suddenly started getting
Hack.
issues with the site, didn't we?
Yeah, it's like suddenly you started having a lot of problems. Linux guy, we're looking at you.
Yeah, the Linux guy's fault.
It's okay. You've got a magic internet wizard now, so I can fix the site if anybody tries it again.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, there was another chap there was another guy who, obviously, in his defense, was trying to help us out. He was saying like, you got depreciated something or other. I don't
I saw
understand.
that.
Deprecated.
Deprecated. That's it. Yeah. And
Deprecated template.
Ricky boy sorts it out for us like that.
I
Done.
should have a gold star
We
for
should
him.
have a round of
Gold
applause,
star.
please.
Well done.
It's easy. It's all easy when you know how, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, for a noob, you're not bad.
I'll see if I can keep it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem would be when Matt gets you to do tech support for his own computer or something like that, then you know what you're really in for.
Yeah, I get that with my mate.
Right, we're talking about the new Superman film as well.
Yes.
Uber excited about it. I know Superman's
Yes.
sort of kind of, he gets a bad rap these days because he's
Yeah.
all powerful
Yes.
and stuff, but he's always been my favorite superhero, and
Oh.
you know, I love him, and I you know, I enjoyed all the films. I didn't overly enjoy the last one, though I did enjoy it. I just didn't. I think it didn't fulfill its potential, but this one looks freaking awesome, and I cannot wait. I've got my tickets,
Agreed.
IMAX on Friday, and I just can't wait for it. It's going to be amazing.
I was a little unsure because it's been done again and again, and obviously the last one was pretty poor. I'll watch it, but then I watched the trailers and I got goosebumps. And I thought, maybe.
Yeah.
I've just never found him that interesting.
I've never found
Yeah.
him interesting in anything but cartoons, really weirdly.
Yes, he's funny.
He's excellent in like the Justice League cartoons or the Superman films. The guys who do the DC animation have
Outstanding. Yeah.
really on the ball, really get Superman. And there's only a couple of stories in the comics where I've really liked Superman. But this film kind of suggests they're taking him down a different route. And I like the direction they're taking him with this whole almost kind of immigrant.
Yeah.
They seem to be
I like
that.
concentrating on that, yeah.
I think it's just sort of the whole. It's obviously it's the Christopher Nolan influence, isn't it? It's all a bit grimier, a bit darker, a bit sort of, you know,
A bit more real.
a bit more real. Even if you can't be real Superman, but you know what I mean, sort of.
Yeah, but Christopher Nolan did. Right, I'm going to be a bit controversial. I think Christopher Nolan took a massive dump all over The Dark Knight Rises.
I agree.
no.
Yes.
The last one I didn't like at all.
Oh,
The second one
I
was
like
It just
Dark
lasted
Knight was a good film.
forever.
No, it was awesome. Oh man.
I didn't
Right.
feel like Batman was the hero in that film, and
What?
I've got to feel like Batman was the hero.
yeah, and it wasn't a Batman film. Batman wouldn't give it up for 7 or 8 years. He just wouldn't. You see him in the Return of the Dark Knight, and he's like 60, and he's still Batmaning. But in that, he just gives up with, and there's no presidential order, there's no Superman to stop him. He just goes, "Fuck it, I'm a bit sad."
My knee hurts.
And he goes,
I've got a bad
Yeah.
back. I'm going to have a rest.
I don't
And
like
give
this
up
all at one
shaving.
time.
And bathing, probably. I mean, it's just not Bruce
Boo.
Wayne.
"Sorry,
I think-
Matt."
Boo. I really enjoyed it. I you know, sadly for me, when I watched, to be honest, right, because I was never a massive sort of comic book person, so I could probably for me, it literally is just face value, what it looked like, what it felt like to me, because I was never a massive Batman fan, even for the old films. Like I dabbled in some of the comics when I was younger, but when it came to, it was more for films for me, and I didn't like the Tim Burton stuff. Well, I didn't dislike it, I just wasn't overly that keen on them. But when the Christopher Nolan stuff came out, I was like, this is freaking epic. And I don't know what it was, it just sort of, you know, just gave me sort of kind of proper moments. But at the end, like, seriously, when you think he's dead, I'm like, oh my freaking god!
They should have killed him. That would have been epic if no one killed Bruce
Batman.
Wayne. Oh no, it would have been brilliant. It would have been a stroke of genius. If he killed Batman, that would have been epic. But they didn't. He survived a nuclear explosion.
I went on holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Catwoman.
Yeah.
With a woman he's just met. I'll live with you the rest of my life, Catwoman. I've just survived a nuclear explosion. Let's put things into perspective here.
He's just a man-whore at the end of the day as well.
I'm pretty sure if I stopped a nuclear explosion, most women would want to come out with me. I'm like, here, I've just stopped a nuclear explosion. Do you want to come to France with me? And they'll be like, yeah, totally, I'm going to France with you. I'm like,
yeah, maybe not a master criminaless who still has a massive bounty on her head that just disappears.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Catwoman, she's clearly got OCD and kind of, you know, she obsessively has to steal. Batman, he's a sociopath. They're almost perfect for each other, except I'm pretty sure Batman would, in the end, you know, Nolan's Batman would end up strangling Catwoman a few years down the line.
No, he just
kept
gave up.
raiding his bank.
Yeah, it just.
You think he'd be like a beaten man, where he's just
Yes.
what to do at the end?
He's just having a like, right, Selena Kyle. Stop taking my bank account.
Do the lawn.
Don't you know I survived a nuclear explosion? Stop fleecing me, you harridan.
And I stole the Chinese man in the other film.
Do you think?
Now the Dark Knight, the middle movie is great.
Yeah, I like the first two.
Yeah.
The last one sucked.
Boo.
Sorry, Matt. Sorry. Don't fire me. Don't fire me.
Yeah, I liked the last one, but it did go on too long for my liking. So instead of trimmed down the midsection a bit, it might have flowed a bit more, but I still enjoyed it at the end of the day altogether.
In fairness,
I enjoyed it mainly for Tom Hardy's Bane voice.
In a comical way. I hope you're saying in a comical way.
No, do you know what? That sort of grew on me.
Supervillain.
It was a bit stupid, and I was like, that's a bit stupid. But then it sort of like, yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. You know?
No.
I do. I like that.
It's like he's trying to sound all intimidating, but he's like, it was like part Carry On movie, part like quite badass villain. It was a bit weird.
yeah.
Do you think they'll bring back? Do you think they'll bring back Robin and
Sounds like a vaudevillian actor.
Perhaps he's wondering why you'd shoot a man.
No, I know something you don't know.
He always sounded as though he wasn't quite sure. Not quite sure about this.
Maybe he wasn't. You know, he'd been in a giant hole in the ground in a prison for quite a while. He'd probably almost died numerous times. That guy was losing his mind as well, and some, you know, crazy Talia al Ghul kind of went, "Yeah, you'll do. Come on, come and beat up this Bruce Wayne fella. He killed my father."
Do you think?
I could go on about this all night. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll bring back the Robin? Do you think they'll bring back? Well, not. It won't be Robin. It'll be like Nightwing or Batman again, but with what's his face? I can't even remember his name.
I think I did an article on this a few months ago, and I did say I don't want this to happen at all. No.
Haven't they already decided that they're going to reboot Batman? Already?
Yes, I heard that as well.
Is there supposed to be something in the Man of Steel? Is there supposed to be something in that?
I heard,
Or is
yeah,
that-
because they want to bring out Justice League, don't they? They want
Let's
Justice
fucking
League.
do Wonder Woman first,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Whoa. They gotta do Wonder Woman
there's like-
first. Look. Wonder Woman. Woo!
I'm just saying boobies.
It would be good to have a Wonder Woman film.
But they'll get it wrong. They'll get it
Yeah,
wrong
they
because
will.
they do. And that's what makes me
The fan
scared.
films have been good though.
I've not seen any.
That's generally quite true of a lot of things now.
In what way?
The fan films that have come out are absolutely excellent in some ways.
Yeah.
There's a Punisher fan film that's
been some good ones.
astonishing.
Yeah.
That was quality. That was really good.
There's a Dread one as well.
Yes. That was very good.
I think the first fan film I ever saw was the Batman versus Aliens versus Predator.
Yeah.
That was
I think I've seen
freaking epic. Yeah.
Somebody should do a piece on that, because I've not seen any.
That
No,
one,
I
the
haven't
guy,
seen it.
that was done quite a long time ago. I think a lot of the guys are dead and stuff. There's some of them. There was actually a documentary about the making of that film, and I think the guy who played Joker's dead and stuff like that. So,
Way to bring it down.
yeah.
So, dead people.
Anyway, back to Superman, because we didn't really talk about it. We kind of went off on the tangent once again.
Which is
Back
excellent.
to Batman.
It's like half an hour later we
Batman
get
is
back
the
on topic.
better hero, so
Yes.
He's better in that. He's not really. He doesn't have superpowers like Iron Man. Everybody likes Iron Man and everybody likes Batman because they have no superpowers. They're just super rich.
I'm writing
yeah.
I'm
It's
actually
like-
writing a
Yeah.
whole piece on that now.
Yeah.
they're
If
more
I was-
relatable. That's the thing. You can
Yeah.
anyone could put on the cowl and be Batman badly, but no one
Yeah.
could be anything like Superman just by putting on a cape.
Mm.
I mean,
You can try,
was never,
but you'd ultimately look silly.
So, speak for yourself.
Apart from you, Becca.
Please try.
Apart from you.
I'll try it.
So, are we enjoying? Are we going to watch it, or are we not going to watch it? Or I'm really
I'll watch
super
it.
excited about it.
yeah, I was never really much of a.
about it.
I was never really
Well-
much of a Superman fan. I mean, he was always a bit too pompous, a bit too all-American boy kind of guy. But and I didn't really read the comics. But again, since seeing the trailers, I've got more excited about it as it's gone on because even the trailers seem epic. So
It's got a fella from Boardwalk Empire as General Zod.
I
can't
know.
remember his
That's
name.
an excellent casting. I love
Big
that.
time. He is just awesome in Boardwalk Empire, man. He's just sort of there's just something slightly tapped in his head completely. He's just crazy.
I watched a film called Machine Gun Preacher. I tried to watch it. It was awful. I gave it after half an hour.
It's an
Machine
absolute.
Gun Preacher. And he plays a druggie in that, and it was a really weird thing to see, like him playing the druggie after being a prohibition agent for the FBI. It's quite a jump between roles.
That starts again soon. It's Borgia after Game of Thrones tomorrow or tonight if you're in America, and Borgia starts, and then Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah. Richie,
oh,
you
is it
were going
is
to
it the
talk
last
about...
Game of Thrones?
Yeah, last Game of Thrones is tonight.
Tomorrow night for us in the UK.
Tomorrow night for us English people.
Damn it. Okay.
Richie, you were going to talk about Man of Steel.
And now I can't remember what I was going to say about it.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, you've not
So we
already
can-
seen it then? You've
we
not
can
seen it
move on.
already?
No.
Is that why you're
no.
quiet? Because it's really bad?
I really, really want to see it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Are you
Yeah,
drawing?
Yes.
Are you drawing?
Yeah, that's coming across quite loudly, just a warning. Yeah, that-
I hope it's drawing.
yeah, we're back
Oh,
to
Lord.
the jacking in
Do we need
cast
to do
again,
this
aren't we?
again?
Oh Lord!
What other future releases are we looking forward to then over the next sort of couple of months, like month or so?
Kick-Ass 2. Kick-Ass
Yes.
2.
I still haven't seen the first one.
What?
Yeah.
The first one's alright.
No, I haven't seen the first one yet. I've got a massive backlog of games, films, and books that I need to do because I spend too much time bloody on Geek Pride. That's what it is. Taking one for the team.
There's an image
Oh.
I didn't need.
Oh, okay.
I do have, Matt, a copy of the Kick-Ass 2 hardcover graphic novel to give away in conjunction with the release. I don't know if you're interested in that.
Yeah.
I got 2 for Christmas, so
Yeah.
there you go.
Sweet. That sounds good.
Well,
We could announce the competition on the next podcast if we wanted.
Woo!
Yeah, we'll do
Yeah.
that.
I'll have to dig it out because I'm in
that
the
looks like a plan.
back. So I'll find it.
Excellent.
I've got some Star Wars sand to give away. Where is it? It's over here somewhere. I've got about 4 or 5 bags of this stuff to give away. Yeah, this is actually primo Star Wars sand, all the way from Tunisia, straight from Lars Homestead, given to me by my mate Mark Cox, who was there to actually rebuild. When you smell that stuff, that's history right there.
You should have got a little cute bottle with
It
a
looks
label
like it's
on.
something a bit
I've got-
more illicit than sand in that bag.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
Star Wars Sand does sound like a street name for a drug.
Well, yeah, he's the guy. He gave it to me. He works for an art union, or worked for an art union and Aviva, but him and his mates went over to Tunisia, Tunisia, and rebuilt Lars Homestead from scratch. So they did this whole thing called Save Lars Homestead, and I interviewed him. Had a bit of a technical issue because I recorded the whole thing talking to him and then lost everything and then had to think about everything I had said to him and what he replied back to. So I had to transcribe it from memory. Well, now he's got it. So, but yeah, so that was the first ever interview I did. It's on the site, and he's had loads of sand and stuff left over with some cards. So we're giving that chisel away soon as well.
Cool.
Sounds awesome.
Where are we giving it away, Matt? What's that website called? I've forgotten.
Geek-pride.co.uk.
Ah, that's the
So
one.
not
Geek-Pride.
Not Geek-Pride, no.
It's a hyphen there.
Any other future releases anyone's looking forward to?
Pacific Rim is a biggie for me.
Yes, mate. That's like modern day Robot Jocks. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
Robot Jocks is, well, epic in the 80s, I suppose. Wasn't it?
That was such a good film. I think I remember when I was a kid, and I used to rent that out from Extravision all the time. Robot Jocks. It was awesome.
Well, I think more people might compare it to something like Gundam Wing or something along those lines. Robot Jocks is quite a pull.
A pull?
Yeah, quite a pull. You've pulled that from somewhere back in the mind that very few people will actually know.
No, it's just because we're quite old.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because we're old we know about Robot Jocks. Well, oldish. Yeah.
Yeah, Pacific Rim does look excellent. That does look really good.
But I think the other great one is Despicable Me 2.
Yeah!
And I love the first one.
Children's film I can enjoy.
I actually only watched the first one last weekend. Never seen it before then. It was surprisingly good, considering again it was a reaction to Megamind, wasn't it? One of these Hollywood reactions. They saw Megamind.
Yeah, but Megamind did do as well.
After, didn't it?
Pardon?
Didn't Megamind come out afterwards? I can't remember how they went now.
Was it? Well, it was one of the. Whenever they do.
One or the other.
Yeah, there's the Prestige and the Illusionist. There was 2 Snow White type films coming out at the same time.
And there was Armageddon.
Like Ever After and.
Armageddon and
what's the other one?
Deep Impact. That gave me nightmares for years.
Has anybody heard anything about a film called Ender's Game?
I've got the book on my Kindle. I've not read it yet.
I'm really excited about this. If you've not heard of it, bing it.
Bing it?
Bing it?
Yeah, go bing it.
What's binging? What's that?
No. Google, man.
Google Wars.
Yeah, go bing
Google Hangout, dude. I swear they'll monitor the word bing.
Controversial.
It'll disappear in a minute.
If
Some
you
guys
bing
in like Microsoft coats. No, Google coats to come and grab them, just trail them out.
Big Ender's Game, I imagine you'll find some small board game site or something like that. Nothing to do with the actual book.
But the film, I think the trailer's online now. Let me just do a quick check. I think you can ask for a trailer for it.
The trailer is there as well, I think, somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know exactly when it's getting released. The book's great.
Cool.
Any other future releases anyone's looking forward to?
The Purge.
There's the Wolverine as well. That comes out.
Oh, Wolverine! Yes.
Wolverine.
I'm not
sure if I'm going to be impressed. It wasn't that the last Wolverine film. I wasn't even that impressed with First Class, to be honest.
I really enjoyed First Class.
I did. It's like I watched it and I was like, yeah, but I wasn't sort of first X-Men film I thought was awesome, but then it just seemed to be going downhill for me. I don't know what it is. But I've never been
than the others.
The third one was trite.
Oh
I
god!
think the second one was the best one.
Everybody's gone again. Hang on.
The Last Stand was so. Oh, that film hurts me immensely. that wounded me.
Yeah, you can sum up that movie in the just the quote, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch." I think is just. I mean, terrible hard.
Oh no, I quite liked that bit. The bit that just really annoys me is the fact that Magneto lifts this bridge. He's standing with this bridge, and all he wants to do is kill the person inside the building. So why doesn't he Slam the bridge on the person inside the building. Why? Why doesn't he go up to like 10,000 feet up and allow a car to hit terminal velocity and just smash down into the building?
I was going to say, because that would be a really shit film, but they sort of kind of already got there, didn't they? So.
Is Last Stand the one where they kill off Cyclops for no reason at all? And
with Phoenix, yeah.
But
Phoenix disintegrates.
Well, they killed off Cyclops because the guy who plays him walked off the set.
Oh, really? I thought he went to
Whoa,
Superman.
whoa.
He
I didn't know that.
He didn't want to be in a movie without Brian Singer because Brett Ratner was doing it. He just went, no, I'm not doing it anymore, and he just left. So they killed him.
And he was right, to be fair.
Yeah, he was totally right.
He was. It was a bad film.
Yeah, but I don't know. Singer's back for Days of Future Past, so I'm looking forward to that as well. But that's quite well. Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to Days of Future Past.
Do you reckon I'll have Bishop in it?
I'm sorry.
Oh.
What the hell was that?
What the hell is that?
It was my phone. Sorry.
What the hell is it?
It's the emails. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Nom.
Yeah,
Do we know what characters we're going to have in Days of Future Past? Because I remember the cartoons from when I was younger and stuff. That like Bishop. Does anybody know any of the other characters?
There's a lot of characters.
Shadowcat's going to be back. Well, Shadowcat's one of the main story
Antagonists.
bolts. I can't think of the right words. What the word is?
She's essential to the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't do it without her.
And then you've got all the two different versions of like Professor X and Magneto and the others.
Iceman's back. Iceman, Storm, which nah. Halle Berry Storm,
nah. Storm,
yeah. I wish I'd have a one.
I'm sorry, no. I quite liked Storm in the cartoon, and I've liked her in some of the comics. And if we don't at least have Storm, it's pretty much just going to be a sausage fest and Shadowcat.
Well, that's the only reason I want her in there, because we need some more girls in there.
We need some more girls in everything.
She was just a bit wet in the movies, though.
Sorry?
She was just a bit wet in the movies to me. I didn't like Halle Berry as she just didn't. She hasn't got enough charisma, I don't think, for the character. She needs to be someone else, but I don't know who I'd pick instead.
What about the Halle Berry Catwoman?
Oh, great film.
that can just go. I'm not even gonna talk about that for fear of just spouting profanities for about half an hour.
I'm very glad to say I've never watched that.
No, I've never watched it.
Yeah, make sure you don't.
Oh, it's horrific.
But then it brings us around to the topic of female superheroes and lack of, so, that was a nice smooth...
That transition is quite...
Did you see that? Smooth.
Yeah, there's only been 2 films, haven't
nice
there?
Segue.
Electra
and is it Catwoman?
Catwoman, I think it's just called Catwoman. I've not seen Electra.
To be fair, Electra's more bearable than Catwoman is, but it's still kind of crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not very good, really.
But then who would we have? I mean, there's the obligatory Wonder Woman option.
There has to be Wonder Woman. You can't have Batman, Superman, and then not do Wonder Woman. It's just inexplicable to me.
Red She-Hulk.
Red She-Hulk. My other half wants She-Hulk badly.
Yeah.
Yeah, She-Hulk could be
as
good.
In, she wants her and she wants the movie.
I mean, people talk about Captain Marvel. I don't know much about her, but I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think the problem is that a lot of the kind of female superheroes tend to be reflections of the male superheroes.
Yeah.
There's Batwoman, Spider-Woman.
Which I think Laura wrote an article about on Geekpridetv. Pride.
Geekpridetv.com.
Geekpridetv. You heard it here first. That's our new site.
We're slowly taking over every domain.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit of a shame because I think a lot of the people who, essentially, a lot of the writers who were writing in the Silver and Golden Age were blokes, and they were writing for blokes, and there's still a lot of blokes doing the writing and so on. So it's not we haven't yet progressed properly in the industry where you've got anything near a gender split in the writing and art department. I mean, you only need to look at the Hawkeye initiative to see just how badly the art department is doing.
And I've tried some of them poses, and they are impossible.
We could do some of our own poses. We could try that. That could be a good, that could be a good photo set for everyone.
That works. That's the new Metal Viking comic, I think.
Yeah.
You should write that.
I thought he was doing Spider-Woman.
What's that?
That's my gay Spider-Man.
Oh, really? I thought that was like Kitten Boy.
I'm Kitten Boy.
That was much more like Kitten Boy than gay. I think gay Spider-Man would be the same as normal Spider-Man. He'd just go for like Marty Joe.
I don't know. But what other female superheroes would you think would make a decent movie, or are they? Because they're not really. They're all support characters. Pretty much.
They are, and I think that's the problem with it.
Yeah.
Make an existing hero a woman. That would be the solution. So, you know,
they've done like female versions of Deadpool and
have a female Green Lantern. Why not? The Green Lantern.
Because Green Lantern sucks.
It wouldn't if it was a woman, though.
It has a magic ring. Woo! So you're giving it a woman a magic ring? That's just two.
Wonder Woman's got a fancy rope.
I didn't want to give the female hero the only bit of super jewellery.
That is the problem with the industry.
Oh God.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Do you think women would take to sort of female characters as superheroes though?
Yeah.
I know obviously yourself, but I'm like in the general populace. Do you think that
Yeah.
I think there's a place for strong, independent female lead characters.
Look at Whedon.
There are precious few of them in the film world, precious few in the comic book world. It's been tried, the Tomb Raider films, games.
Oh, the Tomb Raider games weren't really anything like feminist.
No.
They were just because she had big jugs.
Yeah. And
there's nothing wrong with that, though. I don't actually mind some of my heroes having big jugs. That's fine. That's
because you got big jugs back in.
Exactly. I want to see myself reflected in them. I just want to see it more often.
But the problem with the Tomb Raider film, for example...
big jugs more often.
Yeah. The problem with the Tomb Raider film
if you must.
Just Tomb Raider... Thank you, Matt. It was just Lara Croft beating up a bunch of men. So she was like one woman in amongst an entirely male cast. So it wasn't, again, it didn't pass even that really simple Bechdel test. Which, for, again, anyone who doesn't know, Bechdel test is a test you can apply to a film where two female characters who are named meet and have a conversation that isn't about a man. And depressingly few films meet that. But,
dear me.
Yeah, I think you either need to take a no-name and go female with them, or you need to do...
Hit Girl. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Hit Girl's awesome, but again, she's one girl kicking in a lot of blokes.
Yeah. I think they'd have to create a completely new superheroine to do it properly.
How about, like with the success of Dredd, how about a Judge Anderson movie?
That would have been brilliant. I really like Dredd.
Yeah.
I think Anderson's a brilliant character. I'd have been so impressed.
I think it works. She works well with Dredd. I'm not sure if I'd like her on her own. She's sort of.
But maybe her as the main protagonist rather than Dredd as the commanding big male bloke with a massive gun.
Yeah. I don't know if it would go down well simply because he's so established. If you want to have a strong female character, you need
he's got to be. People need to know about her. First.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want somebody stealing her thunder. You need somebody. You need something written with her in mind, and nothing sort of kind of surrounding her that's going to take away from that character. And if you had sort of.
They're not even going to make another Dredd film, really, so they probably wouldn't take a risk with Anderson, because Dredd lost money.
Oh, that was a good film.
from what Carl Urban's been talking about, that might not be the case anymore.
Ooh, I wonder if we've turned it around.
He's quite enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, it might be one of those ones where all the money gets made in the DVDs and so on. Because I only own one Blu-ray, and that was Dread, because I heard that it had done so badly. I was like, well, I want to buy a Blu-ray and try and get the money back, so someone will do another film.
It was, I think, it was likened to the Raid, wasn't it? It was basically the Raid, but the futuristic. And the Raid's a freaking awesome film, but
I still haven't seen it either.
It's so good. The soundtrack's amazing. I actually downloaded the soundtrack afterwards. It was that good. I was so impressed with it.
But taking it back then to the idea of female superheroes, I think we're right. I think we'd probably you'd have to start with a brand new one, or just take that massive risk and just have
like created for the screen, or like create a comic first and then go to the screen, or how would you do it?
Go straight to the screen, because you've had female characters only existing on a screen, such as Harley Quinn. She only existed in the animated series and then became a comic character.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'd like to watch a Harley Quinn film, but again, she wouldn't be the lead, would she? I mean, if the Joker's not there, then
you don't have Harley Quinn without the Joker. She's like his disciple, isn't she? So
she's the beaten woman.
You can't really have.
Sorry.
But they have started doing comics with her and Poison Ivy, haven't they? There's like a Harley Quinn comic. I'm certain of it.
That could be interesting.
I'll have to look at that.
But most of the comics I see at the moment as well, at least most of the really popular ones, all the ensemble things like the Avengers and the what are they called? Not Suicide Kings. Can't think of the one. I know Andy was doing a lot of reviews for it, but
again,
most of the
they suffer from like the Smurfette principle thing, don't they? There's one woman, and then there's
among many men. Yeah.
Among many men.
Well, that's what Joss Whedon was saying. Like, his daughter liked Maria Hill and Black Widow, and why not? Why shouldn't they? And why aren't the suits, shall we call them, listening? What, it will sell. Wonder Woman T-shirts sell. They're becoming more popular in the stores. I mean, let's just make a Wonder Woman film.
Sorry, James.
The fan film that was on that was released a few months ago. I mean, that had so much praise online. I'm surprised they haven't.
I'm going to have to go look for that.
It's really quite impressive. I mean, it was only a few minutes long. It wasn't huge or anything, but it was produced well enough, and they couldn't name it Wonder Woman because of the whole copyright thing.
Yeah.
But, it was received so well. You think that they'd take it further, but.
So I think, Becca, you asked why aren't the suits taking the risk. And I think I think there's still this idea that women will go to see a film that's about men, but men won't go to see a film that's about women.
Well, what about you guys?
It really depends on what sort of film about women you're talking about.
That's because most of the films about women are about women in love and falling out of love and realising their life isn't anything unless they are in love. So that's why men don't want to go and see it. It's why I don't want to go and see it.
I went to see Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive?
Yeah, Matt, if you're going to see Dead or Alive, you have no reason not to see a romantic comedy. I mean, Bridesmaids was actually really good. I watched that in the last
enjoyed that.
months. Yeah, it's an excellent...
It was okay. Yeah.
It was a well-written film that was about a bunch of women. And, I enjoyed it. Someone got money because I've watched it. So it's not like I wouldn't go watch a film that has a bunch of women in it.
Would you watch a Wonder Woman film or a Batgirl film?
Wonder Woman, Batgirl, like I said, because she's just a spin-off of Batman, isn't she, really?
Wonder Woman is,
individual, isn't she?
I think that they need to do a Wonder Woman film before they touch the Justice League anyway. You can't make the Justice League without introducing the other characters other than Batman and Superman. It's just,
I mean, it annoys me that they did Green Lantern so poorly before they did Wonder Woman. I mean, half the people I work with didn't even know who Green Lantern was. And then it wasn't that good a film anyway, so...
I don't think the film was that bad, though.
It was that bad.
It was a bit ridiculous.
Not seen
Green Lantern, though.
Yeah.
It could have been a lot better.
I wasn't impressed by the racetrack way of saving stuff. That just...
Yeah, that was a bit silly.
It was a bit long-winded and show-offy, but,
It was Ryan Reynolds.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
He's going to be Deadpool, apparently. He's going to, when the Deadpool films come out.
He's perfect for Deadpool, though, to be fair. I can't think of anyone else that could do it better.
And he's already been Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds in Wolverine Origins?
As Deadpool.
He is, but they completely fucked the character.
Yeah, they messed it. It was wrong.
But, I mean, he was... Sorry, go on.
Becca, I would also see a Wonder Woman film. I would love to see a Batgirl film, just because I'd like to see films about every minor character that no one really concentrates on.
Yeah, well, me too.
It'd be pretty ace.
Talking about superhero, like minor superheroes who, they're not obviously it's not a female one, but I've been loving the Arrow on Sky One recently. I thought that was awesome.
Bad. I quite like that.
I haven't read the comic book, so I'm just going by the TV series. And I was really good. Just the fact he's pretty hard ass. He kills people, and he just sort of kind of, you know, he's got a lot of issues, and I quite like that.
I like films with heroes with issues. That's why Superman doesn't appeal to me. I like the alcoholics and the sociopaths. Like, you know, for me, it's more interesting.
That says a lot about you, Becca.
Does it? Does it?
Yeah. I prefer my villains like that.
But you kind of when I said the Arrow. Did you not like it?
If you take away the Green Arrow aspect, and as a standalone show about an archer, fine. But when you start changing, I mean, it's really stupid. Like, Black Canary character, she's not blonde. Why? Why is she not? Why can't she be blonde? You know, and I'm quite.
I suppose it's like me. It's like me when I'm watching the Game of Thrones, and I'm like, that didn't happen in the book.
Yeah.
That guy's name's different.
Yeah.
That didn't happen in the book.
Why can't she Sonic Scream? I mean, maybe it's coming. I don't know. But if you take away the fact that it's based on a comic character, then yeah, it's good. But if you want to say, oh, it's based on Green Arrow, then I'm like, well, okay.
So they've messed with comic properties a lot. I mean, if you look at Constantine, you could have had someone like Sean Bean playing John Constantine, and he would have been perfect. And
Sean Bean.
Keanu Reeves instead. Totally. Yeah. I mean, he looks the part. He could do the Liverpudlian accent without a problem. And they chose a bloody American with black hair to do it.
As a confession, I watched that without realising Constantine was a comic book. I'd never heard of it, and I really enjoyed the film.
Yeah, I like
don't mind the film, but I didn't read Hellblazer, so I have no prior knowledge of it at all. So I enjoyed it for that, but...
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that if they're not sticking to the comic book canon, people who know the comic book canon get annoyed by it. And I think that's the same with books. I mean, Harry Potter, there was so much left out, and to me, it didn't make sense on the screen.
Don't talk to me about Harry Potter with all my Lord of the Rings toys behind me.
I love Lord of the Rings too. In fact, I love Lord of the Rings more than the Harry Potter films. So.
Good. Yeah,
but the Hobbit.
I think it was good, but I think the Hobbit's an inferior book, you know. So you're not going to get Lord of the Rings is the best book out there. You know, the Silmarillion's a bit hard going, but the Hobbit sort of is a kid's book.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, man, I've read it 3 times. I don't know the extra bits.
Man, I can't get through it.
Yeah. Get it on audiobook. You got I think what's his name, Christopher Lee narrates it in one of the audiobooks.
Fair enough. I might have to do that.
Yeah, but the Hobbit's an inferior book, so it's like, you know, it's a good book, but it's a kid's book, and you can see the difference in the writing, so it's not going to be as good as Lord of the Rings. I still enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Lord of the Rings.
No, I didn't.
But
I
wouldn't
call it an inferior book. It's for a younger audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different book, definitely.
You can see sort of kind of his evolution on it, because you have like the Hobbit, which is for kids. You've got the Silmarillion, which has incest and people getting bumped off left, right, and center, and all kinds of crazy shit happening. And then that's definitely for adults. And then you got Lord of the Rings, which is sort of kind of in the middle.
Yeah, very Game of Thrones there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like Silmarillion's horrible. Like, you know, I'm not sure if any of you have read it or not. But there's all kinds of crazy shit that happens in it, and it's just like, my God, I feel slightly traumatized after reading that. Right, I suppose we've mentioned Game of Thrones. Do we talk about the Red Wedding then?
Spoilers!
I was a bit of a arse on Facebook and on Twitter, and I did spoil it a little bit. But yeah, spoilers. I think we'll talk about this for a bit and then wrap it up, because we've been going about an hour. That's disappeared, hasn't it?
Wow.
Pretty much.
We finish on Game of Thrones then, finish on a high. Anyone can read my reaction and thoughts on it at geek-pride.co.uk and geek-pride.co.uk and geekpride- various
and everything
sites,
in between.
everything in between. But I'll throw it open to other people. Start with you, James. I assume you've seen it.
Yeah, I only just caught up with it last night, but my reaction to it was just basically, holy fuck. I mean...
And you hadn't read the books, had you?
No, I haven't read the books. No, yeah, I need to read the books. So after not reading them, I was like, it was traumatizing. The Starks are just gone pretty much now. You've got like 3 remaining now, is it?
I mean, that's the same for you. And it's like, I remember I was sitting there watching my girlfriend just kind of going, waiting for it. just waiting for it, and I was just like, that's right. That's what I had to go through 2 years ago.
Well, I must say, that is one of the only TV shows that's actually had me literally on the edge of my seat, on my knees, crying.
Absolutely.
It was fantastic and awful and gruesome. But
Richie, what did you think?
Well, I've read the books, so yeah, I knew what was coming. But I think they handled it really well on the TV show, really well.
Yeah, I quite like the way they showed the sort of handing out the bread and the salt and stuff at the start, you know, so like, all right, they're fine now, so that's the sort of tradition.
Yeah.
And then freaking crossbows and stuff, and it's like,
yeah.
So,
though I don't know why they had his Mrs. I can't even remember her
I've
name.
heard this. I've heard that she wasn't supposed to be there.
She's not there.
No,
She's not even in the books very much. She just sort of kind of pops in. He doesn't even sort of. He just turns up with her one day. He sort of comes back and he's like, "Yeah, I'm married." And you're like, "What?" But
I think it's just the shock value of the multiple stabbings in the stomach, I think.
And I think
that was what got me.
Yeah, it makes more sense for a TV audience because in the book she just kind of aborts the child and then fucks off essentially. And you don't hear from her again.
Yeah.
So it's like she's dead.
Right. So she might as well be stabbed in the
she
stomach.
might as well.
It's probably a bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't talk. They don't cover the fact that she's done that. They barely speak about her. I think she's mentioned a couple of times, and it's hinted that she's done the abortion through. I think it's called moon wine or whatever it's called in Westeros. But yeah, something like moon wine or something like that. And you just don't see her again. So she is essentially dead for the purpose of the story. And I think that George R.R. Martin confirmed that by killing her in Game of Thrones.
Well, there's another thing you had, like Gendry, who gets taken by Melisandre, and that doesn't happen in the book. It's the other bastard in the book. They're at Storm's End, and she sends the Shadow up to take out. I think she sends Shadow up to take out the other bastard who lives in Storm's End. I haven't read them, but I read them 2 years ago, so I'm sort of lacking on the names and stuff. But
so I'm going to be very careful with the way I say this because I don't want to spoil it for people. Don't spoil anything, but it's fair to say that is probably the most shocking moment in the books. Is the Red Wedding? There's only one moment that might top it, and to be very coded, it's the final couple of chapters at the end of book 5.
Oh, mate, I cannot wait. That's going to be epic.
Do I need tissues or a sick bucket? I mean,
are you talking about the bit where Doctor Who has a fight with the Tyrannosaurus Rex?
Yeah, it's when the T-Rex marries Daenerys and they storm over Westeros together on the back of dragons.
Super.
Let's just say
Luke Skywalker has a fight.
That bit at the end of the 5th book should have been at the very end. They kind of had that bit, which was like, what the fuck just happened? You know, and then they should have put that at the end because that happens and then there's like a chapter left and nothing, you know, well, something happens, but it's nothing of any major consequence.
Again, the very, very, very last bit where someone gets surprised.
Yeah, I don't think, you know, I know what you're talking about, but I was...
biggest thing. Someone gets surprised. Someone gets surprised shouldn't be a spoiler.
Yeah, I just sort of, I wasn't that. The bit before it was like the big sort of kind of like, so Red Wedding happens in the 3rd book, and I put my book down and went, I'm not fucking reading this shit anymore. I'm off. I'm like, this is horrible. And then I went, right, so I got back into it. I was getting the I was getting used to the fact that he was just killing everybody left, right, and center. And then Feast of Crows comes on, and he changes all the characters, and you're like, what the fuck's going on here? And then he moves on, and you're back into it, and you're like, yes, this is great. We're seeing where everybody's going. Everything's going fine. Damn. And then you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake. I actually put the book down again for a month. I was on the last chapter. When that happened, I put the book down. I went, I don't even want to read this anymore. Nobody's going to survive. Everybody's just going to die. I'm going to be very depressed. And I was not happy. And I actually forced myself to pick up the book and read the last bit. And that's why the last bit doesn't I wasn't that bothered about, because I was just like, I'm so upset.
So I guess, again, we'll kill it here, but I think that last bit at the very end of book 5, that casts everything that's happened in a different light to me. And that's why I think it's such a big moment.
How many years away is that then? What book are we on now?
You're up, series 5, you're at least 2 years. You're looking 2 years.
At least 2, yeah, because they've got to do... Series 4 is going to be the other half of book 3, and probably the beginning of book 4. Series 5 will be book 4. So you're actually looking at Series 6 before this, or even 7 before this moment happens.
Okay,
how do you think they're going to do? How do you think they're going to do a Feast for Crows? Because that's a really boring book. It's really boring. I think they're going to have to meld it in with Dance for Dragons or something, because there's no way they can just have that. Like I said, they just change all the characters suddenly. He just changed all the characters suddenly, and you're just like, wait a minute. So all the shit's just happened. And then suddenly we've just got a bunch of new characters. Where's that come from?
See, I'm not sure if I'm going to like that.
No, exactly. It's not going to go down. People will sit there. All this shit's going to happen in the next couple of series, especially, what happens next. And you're going to go, right, want to get on, what's going to happen? And then suddenly he's going to change all the characters, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? When I started reading that, I was like, well, I find
it hard to remember them as it is. I mean, don't change them on me.
I think what they'll do is they'll have to very delicately blend the new characters in at the point where they start to matter. And I think that's going to be a difficult job, but it's not impossible for them to do it.
The thing is, I wasn't that bothered when they started getting popped off in the books, because it was just like, I don't know them. And you had 3 books to get to know certain people, and then you got a new book, and then people start dying. You're just like, meh, don't really care. Don't know you.
But the Red Wedding, to go back to where we started. That was an excellent moment. If anyone's on Twitter, go to @RedWeddingTears, and what that account retweets people's reactions to the Red Wedding as they come in, and it's fascinating to see, because I don't know if there's ever been a moment of television like the Red Wedding, where you see so many main characters die so suddenly in the space of 10 minutes.
I honestly don't think he is. I think he just makes it up as he goes along. I think he does it. So it's just like, I don't really care. I can't really think of anything. I'm just going to kill that guy off. I'm going to kill that guy off because it really annoys people. And then that's what I'm going to do. And then people are like, he's a genius. He's an absolute genius. But what he's doing is he's just picking names out of a hat. He's just like, he's dead. He's dead.
I disagree, only because we know he's told people what happens in book 7 in case he dies suddenly, so they can make the final series of Game of Thrones.
But is there not meant to be 2 new books? I thought there was meant to be 2 other books.
Yeah, there's book 6 and then there's book 7.
Oh, right.
So book 6 is the one that we're all desperate for. The Winds of Winter.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then there'll be book 7, which is A Song of Summer. I think that's what that one's called.
And that's going to take another 6 years before it gets out here. If you look at
I'll be 40. I'll be 40.
So, the time between each book. The time being each book, it's like 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 6 years, 2 years, and it's just like.
Yeah. You've just got to hope he doesn't die.
or get arrested, because he does look like a bit of a paedophile.
It's all I'm sorry. At the moment. He probably will be.
If you don't look at him and don't go paedophile, then I'm sorry, he does. He writes some awesome books. I just hope Operation U-Tree don't catch up with him before.
You heard it here first. Geek Pride.
By the way, I'm not actually calling him a pedophile. He just looks like one.
And on that slanderous bombshell, I think we will dial off. So thank you everyone for listening. I've been Sean Wallace.
I'm Becca Harper.
I've been Mike Geary.
I've been James Buckingham.
I am still Richie Yanukovych.
Thank you all for listening.